Alright boys, we've got to talk about this, man. We've got to talk about one of the most underrated artifact sets in Raid Shadow Legends, which is news to me until I did a couple of account takeovers recently where I was taking over some accounts from some newer players, some players with like 3, 4, 5-month-old accounts, and I realized that nobody had a single piece of cursed artifact gear. Oh yes, apparently some people are just automatically selling without a moment of consideration all of the cursed gear that they get in Raid, which is crazy as hell to me, man. This is a gear set that is absolutely worth holding on to, you know, at least enough pieces to build out, say, 2 or 3 champions in a good cursed set on your account, man. We're going to be talking about why. We're also going to be talking about a whole bunch of champions that fit the bill and become incredibly good in a cursed artifact set. Some accessible champion options, as well as some champion options that you got to get lucky to get your hands on, like good old Nekmo Tharman, who I'm very excited to get some glyphs on and get his speed up a little bit and stuff and start really building this guy out. It's going to be awesome. But hey man, as to speaking about newer accounts, right now is the best possible time to create your new Raid account to get a triple legendary start, man. If you start a new account right now with my beginner promo link down below at the top of the video description box, you're going to start off your account with Karato Fox Hunter as your starter legendary champion, as well as get some extra epic champs as you level up your account. You can then input the good old beginner promo code Monkey King to get your hands on Sun Wukong, another legendary champ. Then as of tomorrow, once this video goes live, Alice is going to become the free login reward champion as well. And so 3 insane legendary damage dealers and attack champions to kickstart your new account. Best possible way to start a new account in 2025, man. Make sure to use my link. Okay, let's do this, man. So the Cursed Artifact set gives you a 50% chance of applying the Hex debuff on any enemies that you attack, right? What does the Hex debuff do? TLDR, it takes a small percentage of the damage that you deal to a single target, or like with an AoE skill as well, and duplicates a bit of that damage, right? A small amount of that damage on any enemy affected by Hex. It's a great debuff, therefore, to bring into just large widths of enemies, or HYDRA. And so not only does it boost your damage, but it also is a very solid counter for the Head of Mischief in specific. If I just pause this recording right here, we've got the Head of Mischief. This head is only targetable directly by any of your single target skills if it has a Hex debuff applied on it. And so you can get by in HYDRA without the Hex debuff. You can, until the Head of Mischief swallows one of your champions, and now you're going to try and bust that champion out of the Head of Mischief while not being able to directly target the Head of Mischief because you don't have a Hex debuff up, right? Things can go bad very quickly indeed. So while it's not mandatory to bring it to HYDRA, it's definitely quite excellent. And finally, you might find that just the general damage boost that the Hex debuff gives to your entire team is enough just to keep the HYDRA heads dead for longer, meaning you've got less enemy mechanics to be dealing with because you're just facing more decapitated heads for longer. Therefore, your team lives for longer, and therefore you deal more HYDRA damage. And so the Hex debuff is actually just way more valuable than you might think. And unless you've got like a width of champions on your account, like a Kemptum and like Scorid, or if you were super lucky like me and you got your hands on, you know, Archer Queen while she was an exclusive champ, and you've got like an abundance of Hex-based champions, then you're going to need a way to place that Hex debuff without relying on these champions, right? If you just don't have them, the Cursed set is going to be your best like your next best option. And so what are some champion examples that just work very well in a cursed set? Especially, we're going to start off with the more like budget champs, right, that you're quite likely to have in the early game if you're watching this video and you're just getting started into HYDRA. You could hold on to these champs and build them out for use in HYDRA in a cursed set. We talk about the likes of, oh yes, I can't believe this, man, but Loki the Deceiver. Anybody who's been watching this channel for a while knows that I went in real hard on Loki the Deceiver when he was first released. He's not so good. I was expecting better. I was really hoping he'd be stronger, blah, this and that. I didn't know what we had until it was gone, man. Compared to like Adolin, Skeletor, those kinds of free legendaries, Loki's actually pretty solid. He grew on me over time, and so I take it back, okay? I take it all back, especially because Loki has an attack all enemies on his A1. Also has a chance of increasing the duration of enemy debuffs by 110. Great. The most important thing here is that it's an attack all enemies style skill, and therefore very, very easy for Loki to kind of spam this out, get the benefit of increasing the duration of enemy debuffs, but also be landing that Hex debuff from his cursed set. I think Loki's a particularly good champion to consider putting in a cursed set as well, because, well, if you got him for free, you probably also got his Perfect Soul for free, so he's going to be quite tanky, quite easy to keep alive into HYDRA, also because of his passive too, but also because you just don't want to book out your Loki. You know, most people would recommend, and I think rightly so, that Loki is just not worth the skill books. And so what does that mean? Well, it means he's got an A2 on a 4-turn cooldown, and he's got an A3 on a 5-turn cooldown, meaning he's actually going to be spending a lot of time in something like a budget HYDRA team when you're just getting started into HYDRA, spamming his A1, which is, if he's in a cursed set, not so bad. Like, it's kind of what you want him to do anyway. And so yeah, I think that Loki is actually a great shout for a cursed set, and it's about time I brought the man his flowers, okay? You know what I'm saying? Look at that wonderful hair, man. What took me so long? Loki, forgive me. Now, you will kind of struggle to find Omega budget options like rare champions and stuff that are good in a cursed set. Honestly, even epic champions that are not Void are going to be a little bit tough to find. One Void epic that you can consider tossing into a cursed set is going to be Syla. She's a support-based epic. She's got to tackle enemies on her A1. I think she also has an attack all enemies A2. She does. Places decrease accuracy for a couple of turns. And then on her A3, she's got to place a strong decreased speed debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. And so attack all enemies on basically all skills, bringing a very, very important debuff as well into HYDRA. It is on a 4-turn cooldown, so again, we're speaking about like not Omega optimal options here, but she can definitely do a job for you on your account when you're getting started into HYDRA. And with that many attack all enemy skills, cursed set, very, very good fit for Syla indeed. Sticking to budget options for now, we've also got to touch on Vizix the Unbowed. This is another great champ in a cursed set, and while she does take a little bit of a while, you know, to get your hands on, she's at least a free login reward champion. Like, you will get yourself a Vizix eventually. And if by the time you get it, you don't have many hex placing champions in your champion roster, then she's a great option to put in a cursed set into HYDRA, man. She's got to tackle enemies A2 with a chance of placing decreased speed, strong version on an AoE. Also places an ally protect as well, so you got to build her pretty tanky in a cursed set if you are going to build it this way. But yeah, she does multiple jobs already with the A2. Then she's got another attack all enemies on the A3, place provoke debuff for 110, and so she's just a great fit for a cursed set, man. I think I've seen a few videos around on YouTube, a few people discussing in the comments section. Most people seem to agree that Vizix, if you need that hex debuff, get her in the cursed set, man. You might be surprised at just how good the results are. Another option that you could pull from, going back to the epic champions, is going to be White Dryad Nia of the Sylvan Watchers faction. This is just an amazing support style champ to bring into HYDRA. She's defense based as well, reasonable kind of base stats in terms of defense, solid HP, fairly easy to keep alive, good stuff. It is a consideration to take seriously into HYDRA. She's got an attack all enemies A1 with a 50% chance bucked of placing decreased speed, strong version for a couple of turns. Yeah, now imagine that it's placing Hex on like 2 out of the 4 HYDRA heads on average, because it's like a 50% land rate if she's in a cursed set, right, to get that Hex debuff up as well. And now this A1 is looking mega saucy, right? And then the rest of her kit is just great as well. She's got remove all debuffs from a target ally, heal them by 40%. If the target of this skill is not White Dryad Nia, decrease the cooldown of the target skills by 2 turns. Very good. Amazing value from the skill over the course of a longer fight. And then she also brings ally protection and weak version of strengthen. It almost feels weird to say weak version of strengthen, you know? You're strong, but you're not like roided up. You're like a natural bodybuilder, you know, if you've only got the weak version of strengthen, men. You're not quite unlike the TRT and all of that, right? But yeah, White Dryad Nia, amazing support style option to bring in a cursed set, and not too bad in terms of being like a budget champ as well. I tell you, a mega budget champ that is decent, not amazing, but decent to put it in a cursed set if you're really struggling. Good old Ugo. Just build out your Ugo in the cursed set. She doesn't have multiple attack all enemy skills, it's just the A2. It is bookable down to a 3-turn cooldown, so it's not like the most optimal champ in the world to put in a cursed set, but you can take, I want to say, like, I'm going to use Ugo as kind of like a stand-in for basically any support champion in the game that has an attack all enemy skill on like a 3-turn cooldown that you want to be building to be pretty fast and it's like a HYDRA champion, you know. Ugo's one of those where it's not super optimal to put Ugo in a cursed set, but if you have to and you got no other choice, it can work out. Now to cover some Omega champions in a cursed set, the kind that just love it, man, that you gotta slam in a cursed set, right? And just be holding onto your cursed gear just in case you get one of these champions, man. It's absolutely worth holding onto, right? Krisk the Ageless kind of just becomes like twice the champion when in a cursed set. This is an immense champ, similar to White Dryad. Got an attack all enemies A1 with the decreased speed debuff for a couple of turns. Very nice. Brings ally protect, continuous heal, another attack all enemies on this A2 as well on a 3-turn cooldown. Lovely stuff. And then we've got a provoke debuff on all enemies for 1 turn on a 3-turn cooldown as well on the A3. God also places strong increased speed as well on all allies. Yeah, ridiculous. I mean, very good HYDRA champion just right off the get-go, bringing the provoke, multiple skills that you want to see, but most importantly, an attack all enemies A2 and on the A1. Yeah, Krisk is amazing and is basically going to ensure, like, I don't know, 90 or 95% uptime on a hex debuff across basically all of the HYDRA heads. Yeah, amazing champion for a cursed set. The next one, we don't have to look very far. It's the champion that I've built out in a cursed set. It's Nekmothar. This is another amazing champ for cursed set. Attack all enemies A1, places decrease attack. Very nice. A2 is another attack all enemies. Chance of placing strong decreased speed and leech. Very good. Throw hex into the mix as well. And then on the A3, brings 4-turn cooldown, increased speed, gets an extra turn, 10 meter fill, all of the good stuff, right? Just a crazy amount of AoE debuffs and stuff coming out of Nekmo. Anyway, you might as well put the guy in a cursed set and be getting the hex as well. So, yeah. Immense. I'm very excited to be building out Nekmo. There is one final champ I want to touch on as well, and this is a champ that I had the pleasure of kind of mucking around with during a recent account takeover. I think where we had no cursed gear on the account, actually, which is another reason I'm just so inspired to make this video based on the last couple of account takeovers. But Artak, if you're gonna build out your Artak to boost you up with HYDRA progression, and that's the job you want the Artak to focus on your account, get the son of a gun in a cursed set. Attack all enemies A1. Immense. Attack all enemies A2 before attacking activates HP burn debuffs. So bring in the HP burn, bring in the decreased attack as well on this A2. And then on the A3 is placing the HP burn on a double hit or attack all enemies. So yeah, insane powerful debuffs to bring into HYDRA. Crazy AoE damage. HP burn is amazing. 3 attack all enemy skills. Immense candidate for a cursed set. So that's my little spiel for today's video. Of course, there's always the caveat of if you got like a whole ton of hex placing champions on your account, then cursed set becomes less and less relevant. And I'm one of those guys, you know, who got super lucky to get Archer Queen. I got the Scored fusion done as well, and you know, I've got a few champions that can place the hex debuff, so my situation's a little bit different on my account. But even I am going to be building out Nekmo in that cursed set, man. And so, yeah, something I've been looking forward to doing and getting some real value out of all of this cursed gear that I've been saving up for like actually 11 months now. It's taken me 11 months to cash in and start building my first champion in a cursed set. That's kind of crazy, man. Actually, I did also have another champ that I could have built out in a cursed set if I wanted to. Good old Bevald of the Thorn. This is a guy who's like an AoE provoker. Brings some good survivability to your team and stuff like that. If you got yourself a Bevald, this is another kind of champ that you can build in cursed. I've actually got him built out with reasonably high resistance to be a mischief tank into normal and hard difficulties of HYDRA, but he has a couple of attack all enemy skills, man. One of them's on a 410 cooldown, places a shield buff on all of your allies. A2 as well, double hitter, provoke, leech, strengthen buff on himself. Just multiple AoE skills. Bring in the provoke as well. Might as well bring the hex too, you know, if you're lacking those hex placing champions. So just be on the lookout. But hey man, for now I want to thank you all for watching. If I missed any crazy good budget options to put in the cursed artifact set for HYDRA use, make sure to plop them down below in the comments. I feel like I'm almost definitely missing an epic here or there that we could have included in this video, man. So I'll be curious to read those. Anyways, man, thanks for watching. Remember, if you're looking to start a new raid account anytime soon, to use my beginner promo link to get yourself a legendary champ start to your new raid adventure in 2025. And I'm going to catch all of you guys just a tad bit later, man.